Hi guys, this is Robert Galarza, CEO True Trace Technologies. Wanted to thank everyone for the amazing outreach on these Q&A sessions. We're really excited to dig into some of the details, give you guys some understanding of our perspectives and the view of how we're building this business and some of the incredible opportunities we see lying ahead. So with that being said, I'm just going to dig into the questions right away. So the first question that comes our way really has to do with the company and our approach related to some areas outside of the cannabis space, really looking at some of those different organizations that manage the food industry and really what efforts we've taken as a business to reach out. And I can tell you we have had some great conversations. Obviously I can't go into the details of them, but I can say that our business development efforts have been bearing some great fruit. Now, with that being said, and this is really critically important for us to make sure we highlight, we're seeing some incredible opportunities open up in the legalized cannabis space. We're potentially seeing the U.S. open up pretty expeditiously across the board. So we're really making sure that we can focus on that batch lot, consistency and specificity of products, so critically important in the medical cannabis framework, as well as looking at things like the CBD industry, which we've been heavily entrenched in the U.S. as well. Really excited about where that's going to go. So obviously we want to see our platform in all places, but we also don't want to spread ourselves too thin. So the second question that comes our way is actually kind of a broad one, really looking at the areas where we have seen obstacles within the deployment of our software and what opportunities do we see unfolding. And I can tell you, obviously, as a young business in development phase, you always got to get the product done, you got to get it built, you got to refine before you take it to market, and that's really what we've been critically focused on. I can tell you that in the sector of legalized cannabis, probably the most challenging obstacle is honestly the consistent regulatory landscape and it's how it changes almost on a daily basis. Really trying to keep your finger on the pulse of those changes and making sure that you're taking advantage of the best opportunities and really critically educating the marketplace as to why a solution like ours is so critical in terms of connecting the right products to patients or the right products to the right customers. In terms of the opportunities we see arising, the maturity of our industry is generating brand new push towards good manufacturing practices. I think the international framework, as it's starting to open up, is making companies really look at the things that they can do to better communicate that quality downline, which we see a tremendous opportunity for us in terms of helping companies set a standard, meet standards, and really push the envelope for quality across the board. So the next question that comes our way really has to do with the framework of existing partnerships and what we're most excited about seeing unfold. And obviously I can't go into certain critical details of all of our partnerships, but I can tell you, we're really excited about some of the work we've been doing with Applied DNA Sciences. Their molecular and DNA tagging really provides an area within the supply chain that it's not something we tackle, and to get our systems to talk to one another in such a cohesive manner and provide that value to customers is something we're really excited to bring to market. I can also say that some of our partnerships that we've had off of the Shoppers Drug Mart deployment have continued to expand as well, and we're really excited about what we can provide in a more holistic solution, because really at the end of the day our goal and our mission is to be part of a larger ecosystem, right? It takes an ecosystem, it kind of takes a village to be able to provide a safe and secure global supply chain. I think we're all seeing that in the face of the most recent pandemic and all the things we've been dealing with across the board. So I can say that those partnerships are all exciting. I don't know if it's almost like picking your favorite kid. I don't know, we're excited about them all, but I definitely do want to give a shout out to the team at Applied DNA for the great work we've been doing together. So the next question that comes our way has to do with the concept of collaboration. We are actually highlighted by the individual who sent the question in. We talk about collaboration a lot, and kind of wanted to talk to us a little bit more and get our insights a little bit more what we mean by that and some of the areas where we're excited and maybe some of the success stories related to collaboration. We talk about collaboration within the concept of supply chain. Really what we're talking about is making sure we're all speaking the same language and we're communicating in the same way. There's a myriad of different companies out there that provide great solutions at each part of the process, and really it's trying to better communicate and effectively, dynamically communicate different processes and aspects and statuses of products that they're going through supply chains. So that's obviously really exciting, and really what we talk about when we're talking about collaboration. And I can tell you from a success implementation, the work we've been doing with Shoppers Drug Mart is critical, right? That deployment allowed us to be able to work with a myriad of different licensed producers, analytical laboratories, as well as software companies, including Ample Organics, and the folks within the Loblaw's infrastructure to make sure that our systems were communicating with one another, the APIs were connected, and the data was flowing seamlessly. It's that type of collaboration, that consistent dynamic sharing of information that allows you to power real-time intelligence. And so that's been probably our most successful deploy, although we're in talks with some great organizations right now about some other collaborations that I obviously can't get into fully, but I can tell you it is a cornerstone to our company, both today and long term. So the next question that comes our way, I'm actually going to combine a couple questions because a couple of folks actually asked us similar questions related to Clever Leaves and Avocana and some of the international companies that we've been working with, kind of the status and where those are at. I can tell you that for both those companies, we're absolutely thrilled to be working with their teams. Their executive management's phenomenal. Really look at both companies as having a long, bright future in this industry globally. For some of the work that we've been doing in Canada, whether or not those Colombian operators are necessarily capable of working with us hands-on in Canada is sometimes limited. Obviously, Avocana does work with MediPharm and is in the Shoppers Drug Mart institution, so they've been a part of that POC that we've been working on. But I can tell you that all of the companies that are down in Colombia have a very extensive game plan for what they're looking to try to do internationally, and we're trying to make sure that we can provide value within the framework of that. So excited to share with you more as it unfolds. Obviously, I can tell you the relationship is still very positive. We certainly wish we could be importing product into Canada today, but that's not currently the regulatory landscape. So right now we'll continue to support on all sides and continue to grow as we see opportunities arise. So the next question's a big one, and obviously I think this is probably near and dear to everyone's heart and mind. Really looking at, we get asked a lot about Shoppers, but we've actually gotten asked a lot about UHN, where are things at with the trial. And I'm really glad this was brought up in a question because it's not something that necessarily got as much publicity as it could have or should have, in our opinion. This is a first of its kind study related to medical cannabis, and we're actually powering the data associated with the product going into that, and we believe that's a really amazing opportunity for us and the kind of value that we can provide to the medical market in terms of creating that bridge. Now, obviously, we launched in this last July, which was in the middle of the global pandemic, and I think, as we all understand, for UHN, for Shoppers Drug Mart, for Health Canada, heck, for all of us, that's probably been the first thing we've been focusing on this year. But I can tell you there is a huge commitment for 2021. We're excited about the work we're going to continue to do with both Shoppers and UHN as we continue to refine that project and really look to continue to support clinical trials of all types long-term for this industry. So the next question that came our way was one that was kind of fun, really talking about kind of the philosophical aspects of our business, what drives us each day, what really inspires our team as we move forward. And I can honestly say that for everyone at TrueTrace, when we first started this company, and we're very blessed that most of our team has been with us from day one, we're really looking at trying to build better connectivity for products that are put into the natural health space. So obviously cannabis being a significant one, but we also look at all naturopathic medicine, really looking to create that bridge between traditional medicine and pharmaceutical medicine, kind of what we want to be able to take and what the earth can provide and what companies are looking to put into market. Every single member of our organization, from myself and my wife, who are big fitness addicts, to we have a professional skier on our team. My CTO has 2 young daughters, and they're really, I think it's critically important for all of us. I mean, every single one of us look at the people we care about in our lives and think, I want to make sure that whenever they go into a store, whenever they're buying a product, that they're getting what they're supposed to be getting. The thought that couldn't occur or wouldn't occur, I think, is something that none of us ever want to feel. So those are the things that I would say definitely drive us. I mean, we have a lot of fun. We love creating. We're very collaborative in that nature. We actually we meet weekly, multiple times, and whenever we do, it's a light, joyful experience of continuing to create and provide great value to the marketplace for what we're doing. So I think those are some of the areas that I would say would drive us each day and around our philosophy. So the next series of questions, I'm going to kind of combine a few of these together because they are relevant to one another, although they are kind of parallel. One is something as simple as our financials, like our actual reporting, when the expected year end will be done. We are like many public companies, we file every quarter, but our year end, our fiscal year is April 30th. So we are now actually about to go into the audit process related to those financials, because obviously this is, this was a couple weeks ago that we closed up the year. So obviously we'll go through the audit process. Financials come out as soon as possible thereafter. On the heels of that, the other question that comes about is around our revenue. What's our revenue model look like? How are we building our business? And I can tell you, we've battled with this a few different ways. We've looked at it from large deployments to aspects of development. But at the end of the day, we are a software as a solution system, which is designed around making sure that you have monthly based recurring revenue from subscriptions. And those subscriptions are usually based upon the feature sets that you're able to provide to different customers. So obviously we've got kind of an entry level package at a lower level. As you go up and maybe your business scales, additional features may be useful, and then there's an additional fee associated to that. So that's the model of how it's designed. Folks like NXT Water, that's how they utilize the system for Akiso. And obviously for us, we're really excited about that because it allows us to reach out and touch a lot of businesses, and we like recurring revenue as well. So the next question that came our way, or actually a series of questions that actually came our way, really had to do with the Shoppers Drug Mart pilot and kind of where is the status of our relationship with Shoppers long term. And obviously I think that's something that's very near and dear to most people's hearts because it's the biggest client we have and the biggest opportunity we've had in terms of showcasing our technology. You know, I can tell you when we first launched this in 2019, it was initially a proof of concept. The idea would be to start the implementation, see what we could do to kind of build the framework for what it could look like. You know, we are actually fortunate enough that in 2020, we actually got a full deployment, you know, now powering a new UHN study. You know, long term, you know, we look to continue to provide long-term value. You know, we believe batch lot specificity, you know, powered through a system like ours and rendered into their backend is something of considerable value long-term for them as a business, both for, you know, the medical cannabis industry as well as, you know, maybe looking at other areas that Shoppers may have in the future. But I can tell you, we've been very blessed and honored to be working with them. Really excited about what the road has ahead for us and SDM. Yeah, I'm going to dovetail off the previous question related to Shoppers and another question that came our way, really having to do, and there's actually a couple of questions that came our way, having to do with the potential for us to render product data for deployment into Shoppers pharmacies, right? People, I think, oftentimes when they hear Shoppers Drug Mart, they think, oh, well, it's, you know, it's on every street corner. Is their product can be available there? And I think I'm going to take a step back to kind of let everybody know that the way the regulations are set up in Canada right now is medical cannabis is only available online through an e-commerce platform. Now, obviously, we're big proponents and supporters of Shoppers' push to get these into pharmacy and get the pharmacist to have access to this medicine. But, you know, at the end of the day, we have to work with whatever Health Canada provides to us. And for today, that's e-commerce and direct distribution. The retail model is a little bit different. Retail actually goes through a distribution hub in the provinces and out to the dispensaries, but we don't really work as much on the recreational model, at least with Shoppers. We're not working at a recreational level because they're a medical only channel. So the next couple questions that came our way in the vein of revenue really have to do with Shoppers, Drug Mart, Medical Cannabis by Shoppers as a client and really our sources of revenue. And then I know there was in the last financial quarterly reporting, there was actually there was a depreciation in terms of revenue that came in. Part of this was cyclical. The way that way that we work is we oftentimes have these longer term contracts that we're in the process of negotiating, and then there's certain changes that have occurred. So that usually has to do with what exists at that financial level. Shoppers is our largest client as of today because they kind of are the largest medical player in Canada, and that's kind of where we started. But we are heavily entrenched in the US market and look to continue to grow the opportunities that we're seeing unfold out here. So the next series of questions that came our way really had to do with the partnerships that we have as a business and really kind of getting a little bit more insight and input on, you know, our relationship with Deloitte, our relationship with Applied DNA Sciences, kind of where we're at in the framework of clientele and outreach. And obviously, I can't go into the critical details of how we do business with these organizations, but I can tell you that we are hard at work at providing great solutions together. We communicate with their teams on a weekly basis. It's all about making sure that what we're providing to the marketplace provides the highest level of value and service. And so that's really what we've been working on. And I'd love to share more, but ideally we'll have releases out and showcasing all kinds of fun stuff in the upcoming months. So the next topic I want to cover, and there was actually a couple of questions that came our way related to QR codes. You know, QR code and the QR code process, and for those that don't know, a QR code is a quick response code. I think everybody knows about them now in the days of pandemic. I think that's how we access menus at most restaurants now. But at the end of the day, really what a QR code is, it's a very quick and easy data point that your cell phone or smartphone can connect into, and you can connect to provide information. TrueTrace and the Strain Secure platform actually provide a really powerful dynamic data on a batch lot level for those products that have QR codes, such as the ones we put on the side of the Akiso product. I can tell you we do track all of the metrics. where they were tested, who scanned them, scanning locations, all that kind of stuff. We pull incredible data off those scans. I can also tell you that we've seen some regulatory landscape unfold where QR codes are becoming a big part of the conversation here in the US. So we're really excited about what our solution can provide because we can fit those particular needs. So the next series of questions that came our way, and again, I'm having to condense some of these together for making sure I can cover off on as many of the topics as possible within the time allowed, really has to do with things within the framework of our technology. When I say technology, we're talking about blockchain. And we're talking about blockchain, we're talking about things like smart contracts, competitive landscape, collaboration in the ecosystem. So let me take a bit of a step back. I think it's really critically important for everyone to understand that blockchain is an incredibly effective tool. We're very excited about its potential, but it is very new. And that means it's consistently evolving. Now, we have a finger on the pulse of the consistent changes, and whether that's things like Tron or Cardano or new blockchains that might provide value. We aren't necessarily married to any one particular system yet because it's just too early to be married to one particular system. I can tell you the other side of that too is for companies that are in the space, I think it's too early to not be in this collaborative mindset, right? You have to understand that businesses have invested millions, sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars into the technology infrastructure. And in order for you to be able to bring something new to the table, you also have to be able to live within the framework of what currently exists. That's why we always talk about collaboration. And collaboration in blockchain is going to have to be there as well in order for this particular technology to kind of provide the kind of solutions within supply chain that we read about, that we talk about, that I often write about. For us, we don't really look at the competition and say, oh, well, there's another blockchain company or they're on a different type of blockchain. For us, it's hey, let's see how we can all work together, provide the best solutions, and really at the end of the day, provide the best level of transparency that in a way that's user-friendly and accessible and gives customers and clients exactly what they need. So the next question that came our way really had to do with the company valuation and kind of what our financial needs may be as we grow. And we've been fortunate enough that earlier this year we were able to close $1.5 million financing. It gives us a really solid runway for our commercial deployment. For us as a business, we're critically focusing on making sure that we're getting conversions of our sales to be able to sustain our business long term without additional financings being needed. Now, with that being said, it's an ever-evolving landscape. Who knows exactly what the future has in store? But what I can tell you is we're now past the development phase, we're in the deployment phase, we're in the commercialization phase. We've also learned over the course of a couple of years the kind of value that we need to provide to the marketplace, the kind of value that actually starts to attract customers where their ears perk up and go, oh wow, this is something I really need in my infrastructure. And then putting a price point on it that we believe is fair to the marketplace as well. So that's really what we look at long term. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you exactly what we'll be looking at in terms of kind of financial raises, but I can tell you we're focused solely on profitability. So the next question that came our way had to do with really our technology, really looking at how our technology works, kind of the framework, what exactly is the process. Everything at the end of the day starts from the baseline of understanding inventory, right? Inventory, batches and lots that are created with inventory, as well as the companies and the locations that are associated with. So we have the ability to manage all kinds of documentation, licensing, certifications at the company level, at the location level, at the product level, at the batch level. And then again, for us, it's all about the quality of the products, right? Connecting to the analytical laboratories, bringing in that testing data, being able to take that information in, storing it in a blockchain infrastructure, and then powering and rendering it not only to a QR code for those end customers, but oftentimes directly into systems that operators and folks may be looking to use long-term for business intelligence and things like that. And then really one of the beautiful values of our system was really designed around this concept of collaboration. Not only do we talk about collaboration in terms of how we want to work with other companies, but really about how our clients have the ability to work with other companies that they do business with within the infrastructure of our platform. So we give incredibly capable tools of collaborating and sharing amongst parties, and that's really how the system was designed and what the system was built for. So the next question, and this one's kind of a simple one, but we think it's really critically important, and it really has to do with the concept of, okay, I like it, how do I get started? So let's say you're a manufacturer, you're a business looking to scale your operations, you're looking to move more product, but right now you're doing a lot of your work with Excel spreadsheets or on paperwork, email trails, etc. You're looking to kind of grow your brand, stand out amongst the competition, really, or maybe you've seen the QR code, maybe you've seen the Akiso product. Hey, I like that, I want that, I want my brand powered through a system like that. So how do I get started? This year, and just kind of preface this, 2021 is all about speed and automation. We are looking to really make our system as quick and easy and simple as possible, allowing a customer to come in, pick a plan, start with us even on an entry-level plan, and look to scale and upgrade their plan as they grow their business. We are a software as a solution system. We're a subscription system. You come in, you pick your plan, you go. So that's really what our critical pathway is now. In the past, we were much more hands-on in terms of account management team, kind of work we would have to do with each of those customers. But 2021 is all about speed, automation, making it super simple and easy, and providing great value to the market. So the final series of questions that came our way, and again, I'm going to combine some of these together, really had to do with the United States. Very near and dear to my heart, because obviously I live in the US and most of our team lives in the US. We were kind of going back and forth between Canada and the US prior to the pandemic. But what I can tell you is this, the United States and our pathway in the United States is our critical focus and our core focus in 2021 and 2022. And I don't mean core in that we don't focus on the opportunities in Canada, but there's an evolving landscape down here, and the evolving landscape down here, supply chain has become a critical topic. The administration actually just did an executive order on America's supply chains. We want to make sure that we are here providing value to the marketplace and value to manufacturers, value to quality assurance folks, value to distributors in terms of communicating that quality across the board and helping build a better supply chain across the board here in the US. Little things like our QR code solution. It's something that we already have deployed in the US. We want to continue to scale it down here. We do get asked questions about things like the NASDAQ and potential uplisting. I can tell you we're always interested in those kind of things, but there is a process. So it's a step-by-step approach. We're not being too aggressive with anything yet. And besides any of that, I think all of that is a bit more of a distraction to the fact that you want to provide great value to the marketplace, do it at a price where you can have high margins, recurring revenue, build that EBITDA, build the foundational fundamentals of the business, and really look to provide long-term value for our customers. So guys, that's about it today. I really, again, wanted to thank all of you for the incredibly insightful questions. We actually had over 40 plus questions, and many of them actually had kind of a preamble paragraph to each question, which is really exciting for us to kind of read through and really understand that we've got a core audience that's actually kind of digging in and paying attention to what we've got going on. For us, it's so difficult sometimes when you work with these big organizations to be able to consistently put out press releases related to what you're doing. So again, for us to be able to come in and provide some color, clarity, and context was really critically important. I think it's also really important for people to understand, we are at a really great stage of our business in terms of, development, deployment, adoption, consistently evolving change, and now it's about market and capitalization in terms of bringing in that profit, bringing in customers, providing value to the marketplace. We're really excited about what the road has in store for us ahead. Again, keep following us on social media. We'll continue to post additional content as we continue to evolve and grow the business, and we look forward to a great year ahead.